My sources tell me there have been undercover agents at Big John's barbecue making purchases. Let's find out why.
I'm fixing to prosecute him. I'll prosecute anyone.
Why are you going to prosecute him?
For lying on the form when he said he's disabled while he's out making barbecue.
Wow.
Selling barbecue. That's a crime.
I am disabled. That was good to know.
Well, if you've been following Zandt County politics at all, you know these two have been going at it. And by these two, let's go back and look. The lady in the video right here, Tonda Curry. Now, Tonda's got a very important role within Zandt County's legal and governmental ecosystem. She's the sitting district attorney. She's running for re-election. Now, she's gotten a lot of hate and ire this time around, mainly in regards to game rooms. Now, let me show you the guy that's speaking in the video, Big John. That's Big John. Big John owns Barbecue and a Prayer. Now, he's been a very, very vocal critic of hers. He says it's pretty clear cut that she's on the take because she allows game rooms to operate within Zandt County when maybe they get closed down in other counties, when maybe he was arrested and imprisoned for doing it in the neighboring county to the east. And so that's where all this ire and all this argument has stemmed from. But he's came after her. He's heckled her at debates. From what I've been told, I wasn't there, but they've sparred back and forth, and he puts a daily post about who that we should vote for. Let's take a look at his page here. You can see it's Barbecue and a Prayer. He's got 26,000 followers. It says he is a spiritual influencer. Okay, now let's go back to the video one more time. I want to watch it again before I tell you what I heard he's being charged for.
I'm fixing to prosecute him. I'll prosecute anyone.
Why are you going to prosecute him?
For lying on the form when he said he's disabled while he's out making barbecue.
Wow.
Selling barbecue.
You hear what she said there? Lying on a form saying he's disabled while he's out making money selling barbecue. Now, I know John thought she was saying one thing. I think he came back after the fact and said, hey, I'm not doing that. But this part wasn't mentioned, I don't believe. I believe Tonda in this video. I mean, she seems convincing. She seems confident. She's obviously an intelligent woman. She didn't get to be the DA because she's a dummy. She seems confident right there, like, gotcha. And so when someone seems that confident, I got to find out on my own. I've got to go do research. So I did. Now, I'm a little alarmed that some of this info is out there and certain civilians know it and told me, but you got to know the right people to ask and you got to know the right buttons to push. So again, these are all alleged allegations, but I'm being told that John is being scheduled to be arrested and charged with a few things. And again, it goes back to this form that she's speaking of. I'm being told that on maybe, and again, it's alleged and using an example, maybe on his local school taxes, he is able to not pay them, got an exception or a reduced rate because he had a physician fill out a form for him saying he's disabled. Again, which keeps him from paying either all or a large portion of the school taxes. Again, all alleged. Supposedly you can find all this out, public record. So he gets that exception and doesn't have to pay those. Now, I think part of it's implied legally or maybe explicitly that you can't be working and generating income and not paying school taxes or getting a disability clause or whatever the correct legalese for that. But anyway, they have him on record, public record, actually generating income. And the way they were able to, quantify that on one level is he's done numerous catering events for politicians. He did some last year, some this year, where he's been paid by them. And sometimes a lot, but barbecue is expensive. I'm hearing there are amounts like $5,000 here, $4,000 there, $3,000 there in the ledger. And the reason that's open to public record is because these politicians are beholden to election laws and reporting. So it's out there that he's generating money. Now, the undercover agents, I'm being told, were also sent in to basically prove that he's generating income, and also that he's not paying sales tax, although he's charging it. Now, again, this is a pretty salacious rumor, and I'm not saying it to degrade John or to piss him off, or I don't have proof other than two sources telling me that in some instances the undercover officers either directly paid for or were in the vicinity when someone paid for a plate of barbecue up to $90. And although he's allowed to charge whatever he wants, I was asked what that was brought up for, and they said, hey, he was just charging a lot based on his celebrity status, and people were willing to pay a lot, almost like a donation. They get a picture with him. This guy has a powerful following, a David Koresh-like appeal. And I say that, John, because people gravitate to you. And I feel like no matter what is said here today, if any of the stuff that I'm being told and that I'm reporting to be true, if any of it is true, he's still going to have supporters and they will rally behind him, I predict. Anyway, that's what I know and what I've been told about John. I don't think it's a big secret, actually. I think more than a few people know, which again, probably shouldn't be happening. I don't know where the leak is or what the motivation is, but I do know I confirmed it again today. They are coming for John. And again, it didn't originate in her office. It originated above. And so when she says in there, I'll prosecute anything that comes across my desk, essentially that has teeth. Well, I guess this one had teeth, and it sweetened the pot that one of her biggest critics is in the crosshairs of the law. So anyway, moving on just quickly, I predict in the DA's race, which is really the only race that matters, I think we're headed for a runoff. Call me crazy. I think either she wins big or she goes to a runoff with Schmidt, and that could get really mudslingy and nasty before an actual runoff. I know John has a lot of support, so Sokola's going to pull some votes. I would think that they would pull those away from Tonda, and they would be, votes that she would normally get. I think I saw something this week. There are 1,000 more voters than this time in the last election, or maybe 1,000 more on the rolls. Either way, I think new voters on the rolls doesn't probably spell good things for the incumbent. If something has spurred these people to come vote. I'm going to tell you who I vote for tomorrow, and I'm hoping to get in front of Schmidt before noon tomorrow, because I did an interview with him and I botched the audio and half of it, and the other half was boring, and it was my fault. And so I would like to talk with Schmidt. I think he's got an opportunity here. And again, like I said, it comes down to wins or losses for him. He's saying he beats her in court on a routine basis and that he deserves the nod for DA. And so if you are a black and white kind of person, maybe that's your thing, but maybe it's deeper than that for you. Do me a favor. If you don't follow the Alexander Hour, it would help me out tremendously if you would subscribe and like this video. Let me know in the comments who you think's going to win. In any of the races, actually, not just the DA race.